Saturday in round one, it always brings about a lot of craziness. I went to this game, the Eagles v the Dogs, and to testify, my face will definitely show that it was super hot. So guys with big minutes in this game did an awesome job to get through. Guys like Maxi King with the 62, Ryan Sutton with the 57 did really, really good jobs. Obviously, the back rowers like Olakawato, for example, did a great job. Guys like Kikau didn't fare too well in this game. Don't know what that was, trying to impress in his first game, but he got barreled over a bunch of times and got whacked himself. So very, very interesting one. But obviously lots of moves get made in this first three games, guys, on the Saturday. There's plenty going on. I just wanted to clarify the Cleary score situation, a few other players definitely as well. There was unfortunately a few sad ones with Chancellor Klukstar not getting his incredible try saver. There was a Ponga and Miller try saver that they didn't get either. So a bunch of different things that were missed in the stats. And just wanted to chat about Cleary and another guy like Hastings, for example. Most of you guys would have saw my little explanation, but how it's working, guys, is even more this year than previous years with their run meters. They would have ran for about 75 to 80 meters into the line for Cleary, maybe about 60 for Hastings, just off the eye. And they end up with 160 and 130 respectively. That's going to happen with a lot of other guys. This is really going to happen with the halves and the locks. These types of guys that run into the line, guys, and then display a little short ball. Think about that. They're making that 8 to 10 meters, and then the short ball goes straight across. So there's no meters lost in their pass, and that's the biggest one there. If they run a couple, 5 meters and then pass it back 5, then of course they're not going to get those run meters made. So it's something that I'd seen over the years that they'd hardly ever counted in the scoring, and they haven't really told us that this year, but it definitely looks like it's much more of an emphasis than previous. Sometimes they might get an extra 20 or 30, but to get 70 in both of those cases, and I haven't looked into too much more with other players. They're just a couple of guys that I've been focusing on, obviously owning Cleary, not owning Hastings, but just seeing that and going, he didn't run the ball as much as he normally would, but that makes sense. These types of guys that run into the line and short pass there. So just wanted to clarify that one, and hopefully they get better at seeing those try savers, because a lot of them aren't very difficult. The ones that are right over the line. You saw Lockie Ilias last night with an incredible one. That was hilarious to watch Ronaldo with all the antics he has on the field to then have his smile on his face and get his heart ripped from out of him was hilarious. So that's that there. All right, so the Seagulls v the Dogs, and this is something we spoke about all year. In the preseason, I spoke about DCE having a little bit of value behind him. Buying round 2 was not going to be ideal. Manly were going to be a lot better. And, we know what type of scores he can get, being over 60 average type of guy. And, guys, this is how it happens with DCE. He'll come out, he'll get a 90, he'll get 100, and then he'll go back to about a 50. He's in between those scores pretty regularly there. Just in his base, he's got the 21 tackles, 1 miss, plenty of run meters. Obviously, a few of them were in those longer range tries. But, kick meters were solid. Always a couple of forced dropouts, field goals in there, 3 tries. So, a bit of a crazy one for him, but an awesome start, an awesome start to the year, and a great game for him. And the Seagulls, you look at the try scorers in this game. Reid Marnie was one of them. Ugh, painful. Those guys that watched me for a couple of years now, we know how annoying this can be for me. Every time I own him, he scores under 40 or close to it. And every time I don't own him, he does really well. But the try scorers in this game, DCE, Trbojevic, Garrick, and Marnie. Typical, right? Typical for a Manly win, that's for sure. So Reedy comes out and gets 51 tackles for 2 misses. Ridiculous. Last year he'd have 40 tackles and 7 misses. Yeah, good on you, mate. 93 kick meters, so you had a couple of them out of dummy half, which was great. 58 with the runs. Had an offload early in the game as well. It's a sneaky try. He always ends up around the ruck. Even last year when he was scoring me 44, he'd get one of those little sneaky tries around the ruck. So Reedy, well done if you selected him. 9%, so I'll give you a clap for that one, but yeah, definitely frustrating to watch for me, especially being at the game. But anyway, Ruben Garrick there, 59. Awesome from him. Did his job there on the wing. He's just a great player, guys. And then, kicks really well with the goals. So 5 goals for him a try, 3 line breaks. So they give him plenty of ball, plenty of opportunity to do his thing. And, no negatives except for one slow play the ball one. So crazy. Jay Trbojevic, so we spoke about him as well as being a potential guy that had a little bit of value. I wasn't too keen on him, but came out and again, very limited on the negative side. Just a couple of missed tackles, 3 turnover tackles. That's his type of game. He was great. Maxi King, spoke about him getting big minutes along with potentially Sutton. 57 for Sutton was probably a few more than I thought. But worked out really, really well for Sutton. And, King, I think there'll be games where he scores better than that with some attacking stats. So he should be a 50-plus keeper, especially, with Luke Thompson out this year. TPJ, when he comes back, we'll see how that affects these types of minutes. I'd probably expect, 50 minutes for Sutton or 48 or something like that. Maxi King about that 54, 53 as well. And, they can take a few off the bench guys for TPJ. So that was that with Kinga. Sutton, we really need to speak about him because the 48 tackles and 2 misses was awesome. Exactly what you want here. A couple of penalties, but really, if you're getting 57 in base, when you priced it, in the high 30s, that's exactly what you want. So well done to Sutton owners. He, was owned by 2.5%, so not crazy, but all the guys that are owning him are playing this game properly and doing a good job. Olukwatu didn't have to do as much craziness in this game. Obviously, meters gained were a little bit lower, no real attacking stats, so we'll see how he goes over the next bunch of weeks. Tommy Trbojevic with the 40, he did a bit of everything as always. Try assists, couple of line breaks, couple of line break assists to try. Just the negatives were not good for him, guys. He had the 4 missed tackles for the 1 make, so -7 in that department, and then 3 errors and a -1 down the list there. So for him, a bit of a mixed bag. Did really, really well in the attacking stuff, which he always is. If they're playing well, he's going to be involved in all that. But other than that, I think he, if you picked him up, you're happy-ish. A little bit, maybe a little bit disappointed. Hopefully, in that round 2 bye, he gets to work on a couple of those, handling things and just general, tackling one-on-one and those kind of ones there that are going to, haunt him a little bit if he doesn't clean that up. But, we know what Tommy's like, guys. He's not the huge tackle-busting type of guy, so he needs a lot of those attacking stats to be a 60-plus type of scorer there. Kebby, he updated well. He was a 34, ended up a 40 there. So just really good work rate for Kebby. 141 meters coming off the bench in the end. But again, 40 minutes for him. He seems to score somewhere between that 35 and 40 in games. And then he'll have games where he scores 22 in that 40 minutes as well. So just be aware of that with Kepi. But for those that traded him out late, it's unfortunate. But 6% own him. So end up pretty well for him there in that one. A few people might have been turned off by Makatoa at 302k. But Kepi came out and did his job. Bullimore had a couple of good runs out through the middle there. So I think that's where he's best situated there. Farmano Brown with 37 in his 54. He was solid without being spectacular. Kola there, 36. So he's someone I was interested in popping into my side this year. And he did a job, guys. 126 meters. The 2 turnover tackles, was obviously nice. The line break there. Not the line break there. The offload there. And the 12 tackles for 1 miss. So you can't really expect too much more when they didn't go down his side a lot. You think of that first half and even watching the game, it's like, I haven't really seen Kola touch the ball much. So, 36 you'll take. I think you can look at him over this next week, obviously with the bye, and then make your decisions. Brady Parker, always a legend. For Mariner, so with him, my thoughts were that for Mariner would start on that right edge, move into the middle when Farmani Brown would come off, and then Jacob Preston would come on. That's exactly what happened. Preston didn't score so well. But then we got the double for Preston, which we'll speak about in a sec. But for Mariner, moving between the middle and the edge across the game to get his 62 minutes was lovely. Unfortunately for him, not the 80 minutes and not a superstar score. So again, the Dogs were just really, really, really poor, like bad in this one. So we'll see a lot of low scores from a couple of the guys that are important. Preston, Burton, these types of guys. Perham, 26, not terrible, but not great. They will get better, guys, but it wasn't their day. It wasn't really their day in the trial. A lot of people said, they looked solid in that first 20 minutes or so, but 20 minutes, it's okay. Yes, they're up against the Sharks, but we saw here now that it's just franked that form that they're just not ready yet. They haven't gelled enough. And just that fight, that grit, there's a lot of errors in this game, plenty going on. So I'd be avoiding some Dogs if you're looking to, and if you're looking for trades, I would be looking to not trade in any Dogs at this point. We got Kelma Tuolangi with the 26. So again, we could watch on him. We got a try assist and still only the 26. So not ideal for him. Perham there with 26. So he was okay. No negatives, which was great for him. You expect some games there he'll get a bunch of missed tackles and some errors, and that wasn't the case here. So he was solid in a really bad losing team. So 26 for him. You get a little bit of a price rise, which is good. Kickout, as I said, 24 tackles, 5 misses, 99 meters, and lots of errors, penalties there. Ugh, but yuck for him. So that was that. Preston, he got 52 minutes, guys. That is the big, good signs. That is the worst game I've seen him play. I haven't seen him play a lot, but you look at the trials the last few weeks, and he was just in there, working hard, no missed tackles, no errors, just doing his thing, making plenty of run meters, the odd tackle break, and just didn't happen in this game. 3 misses, 2 errors, and a penalty. Not good. So, you take out, there's 12 there. You take out 6 of that, he's a 24. Make a few more tackles, potentially get a bust or an offload. And he's up at that 30 mark pretty quickly for a 230k guy. So it just wasn't his game, first game in the NRL. Dust that off, I think he'll be better for the run. He's not one of those guys that's just going to flick after 1 week. The whole team was bad, so just be aware of that with that one there. Averillo, we spoke about him not being an option. Alamotti, so thought that this could be 25 I was hoping for at a base. Unfortunately, 17 was that number because they were worse than even potentially feared. I thought Manly would win. I did tip them, but didn't think it'd be this bad. And him obviously not being able to get much early good ball to get some space, get a tackle break or an offload. So yeah, really just a middle of the road game for him. But 12 tackles for 1 miss is a positive sign for Alamotti there. Matty Burton, so he had the 16 there, which was not very nice at all. Let's be honest, a try saver in there as well, and a goal to then get 16. Ugh, yuck. 4 errors, 6 missed tackles, 2 penalties. That's disgusting. Neg 24 there. He obviously won't play this bad again, you would hope. Just didn't really have any, anything in attack either. 46 meters. Just nothing, guys. Like, ugh. Don't know what you say. Like, do you trade him out? No. Do you trade him in? No. You definitely wait until he gets a lot cheaper. So that's that. Jaden Tanner, congrats to him on his debut. Franklin Pele, guys, 9 in his time on the park. So 99 minutes, which, end up with 2 tackle breaks there, which is great. But, yeah, not what we want. Not the minutes we want. Looks like it'll probably keep that way going forward, 10 to 15. Tanner had 13, Pele had 9, so maybe they give them a couple extra with King and stuff like that, not playing as big minutes, but we saw who the better forwards were, obviously with King and Sutton doing plenty of work and not really missing many tackles and stuff like that. So that's that one. And KO Weeks got 16 minutes and he came and did his thing. Didn't have to or didn't get to do too much in that game, but that was a very, very interesting one, guys. There. Okay, the Cowboys and the Raiders. I was so excited in this first half. Looked like it was going to be an absolutely crazy performance there with the Cows coming out and dominating there, 18-0 to kick things off. And again, we'll talk about this one. I got this question after round 1. Sorry again if I'm bringing it up for the person that watches, but should I trade Robson for Grant? Robson hadn't even played. Robson comes out and scores 2 points under Grant, or it ties Grant, whatever it is, 74 each, 76, 74, and has an awesome game, guys. And we showed obviously that the trials don't mean everything. We were scared off a little bit from him, and I decided to spend a bit of money elsewhere in my team. But Robson was a mainstay in my side all preseason, and then moved him on, and he had a terrific game, guys. 49 tackles for 1 miss. Ran well out of dummy half, got the line break try assist, a bunch of tackle breaks in there as well, and a forced dropout with just a little dink into the in goal. So Robson was awesome, guys, and definitely will be an option over this first period if you have an injury in that position, if you want to upgrade, if you don't have, if you just have you running Smith and Boydie, for example, like myself, then guys like Robson, Grant, going to be awesome options there if you have injuries or an upgrade needed. Cotter, 60 for him. So 67 minutes was really high in the Townsville Heat. So really, really well done to him to bust out those minutes, and 216 run meters, 4 tackle breaks. It's awesome. You can't expect too much more out of him. Only the 4 in negatives. So 60 gets him a nice plus 8, plus 7.5 on his price, which is great. So exactly what you want, and keeper level scores there for a guy that doesn't have a bye for a long time. Awesome. Tom Starling, he was absolutely cooked on the bench. Did you see that when he came off after his 43 minutes? He was pummeled. But 58 for him. This is the kind of stuff that you can do. Awesome PPM. Emre Gula got a try early and just did everything off the bench. 43 minutes for him was great. Looks like they really split the minutes in this one. You see with Tapane for 49 minutes, a couple less than what he averaged last year at 51. So a lot of people asking, why did Tapane play so low minutes? These are the minutes he plays, guys. He's not a Murray type of player, big minutes. The Cotters, these types of guys. He's that impact guy that comes in and dominates there. And Tapane, unfortunately, was held, scoreless, really. 1 tackle break, 1 offload, not great. 51 in base was good, but obviously the negatives in there to play that down. We're expecting him to have a few more tackle breaks and another offload probably per game. And then potentially some attacking stats in there. But 120 meters was low in this type of game. It was a very, very strange game. You see someone like Drinkwater, who we may as well go and speak about now, who really touched the ball not many times, let's be honest. Like in the second half, a few times there. He did do a little bit of everything, guys. He had 2 good finishes, good little set plays there for tries, which was great. Obviously, no line breaks, no tackle breaks, so just little kicks. So that's why you can score 2 tries and not go incredibly well. In the second half, the Raiders had the ball the majority of the time, and when they had the ball, the Cowboys, it was the wingers doing a lot of the work, and those middle forwards just trying to get up there and get a kick out from 40 or 50 meters, just grind them away. So Drinky didn't get to do a lot. You know, and he had the 4 in negatives. But you look here, he's got, you know, 4 dropouts in his game, kick defusals, a few kicks, you know, longer kicks as well, which is good. So he picked up 2 points from that. The 130 meters is okay, but yeah, 3 tackle breaks there. You're looking for an uptick in a few of those stats there. Obviously, those run meters, potentially a couple more tackle breaks, and then, you know, try assists and stuff will replace some tries sometimes. So that's that. With that one, Tarpany, I just wouldn't be worried about him, guys. Don't stress too much with Joey. He will be fine. Yeah, it was very, very hot up there. So maybe a few more minutes when they play back at home. Things like that. We can work that out as we go. Yeah, when Goula's getting 43 and Tarpany's getting, you know, 6 more than him, that could probably drop down a little bit. Either way, 3 down, 3 up, or 5 down, 5 up. And, you know, go from there, which will be fun. Okay, Val Holmes, so 42. He had a solid one as well. Got in there, ran really hard, got 4 tackle breaks in that one. Got the try assist, the 3 goals. So this is going to be him, guys. The 40 1 week, 70 the next, 25 the next one. So, yeah, ups and downs with Holmesy there. If the second half was a bit better, he would have got a lot more points. But, yeah, unfortunately for them. Cowboys, it was thank God they got the win, to be honest with you. Corey Harawira, so a few people were asking about him in that middle. So got the 66 minutes, 42 points. He does score a lot better on the edge, guys, because he gets those opportunities for attacking stats, which he just doesn't get in the middle. And he's not one of those guys that they give for a lot of work, 49 meters. So really terrible. For someone who's such a damaging runner, they just don't give him the ball enough, I think. Anyway, Whiten 39, Tamalolo 39. Again, both kind of not super relevant at the moment. Whiten's not a top gun, but he scored a little bit under his break even. Tamalolo is probably going to be him for a while, guys. 200 meters, very low tackles, which is very normal. We need him to play big minutes to be worthy to be in your side. Jamal Fogarty there with 34 in his 80. So again, not really his type of game. Very limited on the kick meters, especially in that first half. He was trying to catch up a bit in the second. You know, very limited on the negatives, but he's not someone that tackles heavy. You know, 12 tackles for 1 miss, so was fine. But you know, the 3 goals just wasn't that type of game for him. No try assists, no tries. You know, you'd hope for a little bit of a better base because you want those run meters to be up and those kick meters as well. So hopefully for next week he'll be fine. If you own him, guys, you're not trying to risk getting him out at all. He'll be fine eventually. But yeah, not his game. Solo there had a nice game at 34. Not super relevant at this point, but he did his job. 33 tackles, especially in that first half. He was banging off those tackles, that's for sure, when Cowboys had the ball the whole time. And then lower down the list, Danny Levi, guys, 29 in his time on the park. He ended up playing 40 minutes. It was across 2 stints, so him and Starling kind of splitting those minutes there. He did an okay job, but again, not relevant at his price and his minute space. Hudson Young, what a shocker fantasy-wise. 6 missed tackles, 1 error, 71 run meters. So he needs to be a guy that's going to be getting a lot more than that because he's priced in the mid-50s. So crazy. Dearden was low as well, 27. Again, not super relevant at this point. Harley Smith-Shields, a 23 for him. So you'll take that in this type of game. 160 run meters, awesome. A couple of tackle breaks, did get a line break as well, and had the 3 errors. So if you can drop down a few of them, yeah, they were in attacking kind of situations. So you can, you know, handle that a little bit when it's like bang contact or a bad pass in front of him and stuff like that. But yeah, he'll be okay, guys. The 23, not ideal, but it was a bit of a weird game for outside backs, that's for sure. You know, you see Nanai as well. You know, Nanai was low, Hudson Young was low. So that left side for Hudson and the right side for Nanai, very low run meters, both of them, 42 and 71 respectively. So you'd imagine that improves from there. Kotrick as well, 16, so he was a low one in that one. All right, last game for the Saturday, guys. I hope you enjoyed all these 3 games, especially, you know, the closeness of a few of them. But the Sharks v the Rabbitohs was really nice to watch. It was, you know, a lot of skill involved in this one, and Lockie Ellis was a guy that I know I got pushed back a little bit from, and TK got a lot of pushback, especially when he had him in his team in our team reveal video. But I had him as someone who had about 7 points of value, not 41 points of value. It's so hilarious, isn't it? Like the guys that you start with week to week, year to year, and just picking them in the wrong year. Yeah, we started with Ilias last year at that cheap price, around that 300k mark, and he just didn't perform as that well in his first year full time for the Bunnies. And then obviously, you know, a year later, he comes out. He's a bit more expensive, but still holding plenty of value. And this time he comes out and absolutely delivers. So there was a bunch of things in this game that he won't get on a regular basis, I would imagine, guys. You know, he has become a better tackler of the football, as a player there. But, you know, 3 turnover tackles. He did get a turnover tackle and a try saver in one play. So that was 9 points. And that was just, you know, a great play from him, but just very soft from Ronaldo, just jogging over the line and giving Ilias a chance to even tackle him. So 9 there, and then he had 2 tackles just under the ball, which popped out, which was really good as well. So 12-17 in that mark. It bops him down to a 54, but still a 54 would be crazy. He did get a nice sneaky try. It was a bit of a nothing play, and then Murray was kind of like pushing him over, go son, and a try assist as well, and a couple of line break assists. So he was great. 37 run meters, about normal for what we expect, but he got 4 tackle breaks in that time. So a lot of stats that are a bit inflated for sure, guys. But could you expect a 40 out of him comfortably? Yeah, for sure. Kick meters were up. So obviously he's the main kicker in this team. They went right a lot more. So that's the biggest thing to see in this game. Those guys on the right side, Campbell Graham got plenty of love, which is great for him because he's such a good player. He deserves more attention though than that left side sometimes because he is so good. So that's Lockie. Damien Cook. Oh, sorry, we'll say with the list. Should you buy him in your team? Maybe. He's going to be up in the 470k mark. So if you have an injury in that mid range, then potentially. But I wouldn't bust up your team just to get him. Damien Cook, guys, a 68 for him. That was beautiful. Like running out of dummy half was tremendous. Everyone says he's getting old. He looks like he's still 23. So I wouldn't be stressed about him, guys. That's 68, just a very normal game for him. No tries, no try assists, no line breaks there. 60 in base with the run meters and the tackles, and he obviously gets tackle breaks in amongst that when he runs the ball because he's so elusive. So that was Cook. Cam Murray. So obviously some injuries to Tola. Jai Arrow as well. I think Jai Arrow might be the one we have to worry about, hamstring related. So not good. He didn't look that happy when he came off, and he had a bit of a rough trot. Got whacked a couple of times in his defense, and then when he ran the ball as well. So Murray played the 80. It looked like he was probably going to play the 70 anyway, I'd say. They played guys like Shaq Mitchell more minutes off the bench to cover. So Murray, 80 minutes for him, 66 of those lovely points. Obviously not super ideal. Like we'll take the 66 for sure, but when I was thinking Carrigan over Murray, for example, 65 v 66 for 200k more expensive, not ideal, but that just shows that these guys can have some really good games and then to have some poor ones. When Murray plays 80 guys, he's usually an 80 ppm type of guy, so 80 point scorer. To be honest, Murray didn't actually play a very good game. 3 missed tackles, 2 errors, a penalty in there. He had 66 in base to go along with those negatives. He only had the 2 tackle breaks. He had the 1 offload. Thankfully, that's in there. And he had the 1 turnover tackle, guys. So no attacking stats really for him. He got that offload in his first run. And from there, just, nothing really happened. Nothing really went his way. Thankfully, the team went really well. But I think there's still plenty of room for improvement with Muzz. So hopefully a 70 or an 80 if he gets the 80 minutes next week. I know we're getting... I'm trying to just... I'm nitpicking a little bit at these type of guys. And you're like, oh, you got 66. Be happy. I am happy. I just think there's a lot more room to improvement, which is great sign. For improvement, which is great signs. Campbell Graham, guys, was awesome. 66, one of those keepers in the center position, which is great. Colin Matangi went well as well. 63 for him. He just looks bigger and better every year. Him and Ola Kawatu, very similar across that. There's a little bit of news, guys. NRL Physio came out in the Patreon and mentioned that Latrell, probably a little PCL issue, could be back next week. Could be a couple of weeks. We'll find out across the next few days. But Latrell obviously had a little bit of an issue with that knee if you watch that game. But he did a great job. 61 for him. Hopefully Teddy can come out and do that for those that pick Teddy. But he's owned by 17% Latrell. So crazy. Brayley had a really nice run out of dummy half early on. But again, this is his kind of run-of-the-mill game. Under 50 points. Good tackles. A few run meters. Doing his thing from there. Toby Rudolph was solid, guys. 49 for him. Again, not super important. Cheekham played the full 80. So don't expect this every week, guys. Potentially Jacob Host coming back or something like that. Shaq Mitchell, 48 for him. He was really, really good as well. 45 minutes for Shaq was crazy. So well done, Tim. Came out and did really, really well. Again, still don't think he's relevant. Someone like David Miley, probably a little bit more relevant, just because we know that he could potentially be in this team ahead of Shaq, but he did a great job. Obviously, all the injuries, guys, to Tola playing 1 minute allowed this, so it is inflated. Cam McInnes at 29 minutes. He came out and was 40 and 25 and then played 4 at the end. So, yeah, really strange minutes-wise that was his split this week. But, came out and absolutely killed it. But he'll still lose some money, which is good for us. Teague Wilton there, 45 for him. Said 7 missed tackles really early. Came out and did a couple of good things. Got the offload, got the turnover tackle, and then got the try late. So you take the 45, it's still +6 on his average. Is what you're looking for. We're hoping for a slightly bigger score from someone like Eagle Butcher at a little bit more expensive price today. But yeah, Teague was like okay. You drop down those missed tackles and a couple of errors. That's neg 20 on his number. He gets 65 today, guys, and anywhere around that, neg 10 we'll take. 55 points would be hectic, but he always finds a way to get over that line and get a try. So well done to Teague in that one. Okay, guys, that a little bit more relevant. Cody Walker there, 37. Did really, really, okay. try saver, did his thing, 21 tackles for 2 misses, only a few kick meters, guys, so it's a slight worry, but that's pretty normal for him. 77 run meters, so we expect some more attacking stats to come. Isaiah Tass, someone I was interested in the preseason, and for him to come out and just have a really, really solid game, guys. 170 meters, 13 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, and a line break assist. When he gets some attacking stats, it's going to be great. But just be aware they did go down the right a little bit more. So does that continue to happen? Shows that when they do go left, Isaiah Tass and also Johnson are going to absolutely kill it. So I'm excited for Tass this year. Spoke about it in the preseason. If you picked him up, well done. There's only 0.9% that listened to the advice. I did not listen to it anyway, so... But, I give good advice. Don't take it myself. Let's say that's my motto. David Mwale, so 35 for him. If you started with him, you get a good price rise this week. No attacking stats for him. 150 meters, 20 tackles there. Was delightful. Isaac Thompson, if you started with him, awesome. Let's just hope that he keeps his spot next week. If he does, then his ownership will go up a fair bit. I think I'll be looking to pick him up if he does keep his spot. I just thought, this first week or two, we can see what happens. But he looked really solid, guys. The 9 tackle breaks and 170 meters. Pretty much every time he ran the ball, he got a tackle break. So good stuff for Isaac Thompson. Trindle, the 33 there, started Super L, was on 30 really quickly, and then just had a few negatives and just a bit of a nothing second half. The 40-20 in there was hectic. 3 goals to try. So did a bit of everything, guys. And this is kind of what he does in that 7 position. You would have liked a few more run meters, but... It wasn't a winning game for them. So hopefully they can win the next one if he does play. But Hines might be back next week or the week after. If we find out more on Hines, then Trindle could be a really, really good pickup for those that haven't picked him up yet. But there's a lot of people thinking and hoping that he'll get 2 weeks plus. Probably I want more than 2 weeks, and they're kind of just banking on the fact that they're going to keep it behind closed doors with Hines. And this calf is worse than once feared. But we'll see. We will see. Ramian in there, Oregon, Talakai. All a bit low, guys. The outside backs, not super great for these guys today, but is what it was. When they weren't winning. Ronaldo bombing a try, for example. Arrow was doing pretty solidly with his points, but 22 off 22. Moylan in there with 15. He's not really an option, guys. He's just a great player for him. Ronaldo's 15. Wade Graham with a nice sin bin there. Taff and Paul Totola. If you own Totola, you don't trade him out. He'll be fine, but very, very sad. That's the kind of head clash that Cam Murray ends up with in the first minute or so that they talk about, and ends up going off the game. But thankfully, it wasn't Murray for my sake. But if you're one of the 1% that owns Totola, I'm really sorry. And he will be better next week. Let's hope that he's actually safe and available to play. Hopefully he will be. That's the Saturday game, guys. Enjoy the Sunday games, and I hope you have a massive score.